Broncos country, welcome in. It's another Denver Bronco Roundup podcast. I'm your frozen host, Keith Brugman, where I'm, coming in at a negative, 26 degrees, I think is what I was showing Trevor right before we got on air here. It is cold. Internet might be a little bit lagging just because of that, so hang with me if my audio isn't syncing with my video. I apologize. Trevor's going to be hanging in there. Might be your only host of the show if we end up having some issues. So that being said, I am your host, Keith Brugman. This is the Denver Bronco Roundup, brought to you by the Rocky Mountain Sports Network. And just to the side of me, Mr. Trevor Salzman, maybe in a balmy situation in comparison.
Yeah, I mean, Keith, I feel you on with the cold though, because I mean, I'm not. You're used to. I don't know if you're used to this weather, but you get that weather more that way. This way, I mean, we don't always get these mega freezes, and it's just. I mean, it's about 8 degrees here, negative 10 degrees in wind chill. So I mean, it's not as bad here. I think it feels like a heat wave here, probably than compared to what it is there. But you know,
Mm-hmm.
we all try to hang in there, hang by your heaters, and do what you can to stay warm. That's all I gotta say.
Yep. As I look to the side here, negative 27 feels like negative 48. Mm-mm.
Ooh.
Ooh, feeling wonderful, and feeling wonderful because we have our friends already chiming in. So gotta get to the posse, man. Say hello. This is Mr. Ernie Mays, Go Broncos Country Only. Hello, Keith. Hello, Mr. Ernie Mays. Good to see you here, sir. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. And by the way, man, kick a little friend some love over here, Mr. Trevor Salzman, too, man. He's in here every Friday night. Love him being in here as well. We got Michael Ronquillo, the Ronk, the legend. Good evening, Keith and Trevor. Big orange and blue hearts, of course, celebrating with the clap, man. That it's that almost that K&K Sports Show exclusive, but we kind of stole it being the cousins on the East Coast, man. I'm telling you guys, we got a fantastic, just blow it out show for you this evening. We got numerous special guests. I'm going to clue you in right now, just to let you know, because from we'll say in about 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, we're going to be bringing in Luke Patterson of the Mile High Huddle. And just about 20 minutes after that, at about 7:45 our time, Mountain Standard Times, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Joey Clams, he'll be joining us as well. So, guys, like I said, jam-packed show. Can't wait to get to some things here, guys. So I'm trying to read comments off on the side as well. So Ernie May is coming in and saying, Chiefs one and done, Texas one and done. Hello, Trevor. Go Broncos country only, man. Trevor, we're out of the playoffs, unfortunately, man. We'll end up getting even more into that a little bit later as we talk with Joey Clams coming about 7:45. But man, how disappointed are you that the Broncos didn't make the playoffs? Or how excited are you that we were able to make strides really off of last year into from 2022 to 2023? Take it away, Mr. Trevor Salzman.
Yeah, I mean, it's very disappointing, Keith. Of course, there's some especially since there's big key losses that especially starting off 1-5, that the Broncos could have definitely avoided. And even if you win one or two more games, I mean, we're right there in the playoffs mix. And that Patriots game, I mean, that was just a nail in the coffin right there. And it's just, I mean, give it to those other teams that the Broncos just weren't good enough. And it's just this team is making strides. It's just again, it's just like you got to start all over next season, and you got to earn your way back up there. So it's definitely disappointing as a fan now. It was that 8 straight losing seasons now since Peyton Manning retired, and we won Super Bowl 50. So it's very disappointing as fans and just covering this team. And it's just, I mean, again, hopefully better days are ahead, but it feels like a lot of things are just still uncertain with the Broncos, that it's going to be a busy offseason and a lot of things are going to change. And we'll see if that's going to be for the better or for the worse. We'll find out soon enough. But yeah, of course, it's going to be hopefully things are going to be looking up for this team. But yeah, again, we're going to have to wait till the end of the offseason to kind of, I think, truly evaluate where this roster is going to be, because there might be some big changes with Broncos having a lack of draft capital and lack of cap room going forward.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny. We have our little side chat. Not the posse. I'm talking about the side chat that we have on the side. Maybe we'll get to that here as well. Kenny Kirkpatrick of the K&K Sports Show coming in saying, "Good evening, fellas. Looking to forward to a fun, packed show tonight." Man, packing all the words in and out of my mouth is having some issues, but man, I'm looking forward to a fun-filled, fun-packed show tonight as well, Kenny. And thank you so much for helping me out and getting Joey Clams all set up this evening as well. Yes, Michael Ronquillo, Luke from Mile High Insiders is coming. We'll be excited to see him as well. So, and a good evening to Kenny coming in from Michael Ronquillo. So, what I was going to get to though, we do have to be a little excited about the strides that we take. Where we've been compared to where we're at. We did make some strides, man. If nothing else, I don't feel like we're in a complete panic mode. Not a complete panic mode like we've been in. And it seems like every single off season. I know that we're having to change out a quarterback possibly, and that looks more and more like that's going to be what's happening here in the near future. But for some reason, maybe it's having the ownership in place, maybe it's having a Super Bowl winning coach now in place, maybe it's the fact that for what it looks like, GM is going to go ahead and stick around. There's been I know we still have to go through Sean Payton's evaluation period, but as of right now, I haven't heard of an offensive coordinator being moved on from. I haven't heard of a defensive coordinator being moved on from. And I've said it for time and time again. I had another favorite podcaster of mine bring up another team, but the Pittsburgh Steelers and the way that they have consistency within their organization just breeds success of at least making the playoffs year after year like they've been doing. The Ravens is another great example of a consistent ownership, front office, head coach. We're sticking with it. We go from Joe Flacco to Lamar Jackson. It's okay. We can do these things. It works. What do you feel about is that what we're getting the feeling for, Trevor? Is just maybe there's some consistency around this Broncos team that we've haven't felt like. Lord knows that the ownership group was so far up in the air. You never know what Bolin was trying to overtake and be the new owner at any given time.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, that's the biggest, I think, positive takeaway we can come up with this offseason is that again, consistency. I think that's huge with any coaching staff. And of course, again, for the players. I mean, think about those guys. They've been through so much over the past 2 seasons. We haven't had a true, coaching staff to stick around since Vic Fangio. I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy to think about. But again, it's just like you got to have that consistency. That's why I'm not on board with firing Sean Payton. I may not agree with what Sean's doing a lot of times, and concerns definitely going forward.
Mm-hmm.
That's just true part of evaluating Sean Payton and what they gave up for him, the value. But again, I don't want him to be fired this offseason. I think it is. Does say something with consistency because again, this organization has struggled with that too much. The quarterback position at the head coach position. I mean, there's too many positions where in head coach and quarterback, those are the most important positions in football, and we've struggled with that year in and year out. It seems like. And again, we're probably going to go through it again with Russell Wilson here pretty soon. But the good part is we at least have a coaching staff that's going to hopefully stick around. Again, I don't see anybody losing their jobs necessarily unless they get a head coaching job somewhere else. That would be probably more of a Vance Joseph type. But again, I just don't see that this offseason. But maybe next year would be probably the soonest we maybe see a coaching change. Lombardi's not going to get fired because Payton's the offense side of the ball, calls plays. So I don't know. I don't think the Lombardi's going to get fired. And Joe Lombardi, the OC is who I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And then so it's just you got to build that consistency, and that starts up with the front office too, George Payton. I mean, again, that's why I say, has George Payton really been that bad of a GM that we don't bring him back? Yeah, no. Again, the Russell Wilson trade is a different situation. If take us back to that point, what we would have made that trade, not knowing what we know now. It's easy now to evaluate that and say, yeah, we probably want to make that trade. But coming from where the Broncos were at, bridge after bridge after bridge quarterback, you have this 9-time Pro Bowl quarterback that has won a Super Bowl before. You probably would have given up the draft capital it would have taken to get that. So again, it's just And it's just I like that. I like Sean Payton not making too many changes. So he is, I mean, he's part of that. Probably, hey, I want to keep George Payton around. He could have very easily said, I want a different GM, and maybe he does after this draft cycle. But seems like right now George Payton's safe, and most coaching staff's safe, not all. So very important, I think, going forward for a winning team going forward, and just something the Broncos haven't had. It seems like in forever.
Mm. Yeah, consistency. Like I said, I love the Steelers. Ravens are another good option. One thing I want to get to just really quick, and then I see the backstage piling up a little bit here. So we're going to be bringing on our first guest, Mr. Luke Patterson, here in just a moment. I just want to say we saw something that was maybe a little bit cryptic. I got off of this. We had that little back messaging going on. Talk a little bit about Cortland Sutton and maybe what was alluded to on Instagram today.
Yeah, Cortland Sutton sent out an Instagram post. Again, I'm not going to read too much into it, but he was just thanking his coach, the coaching staff, and his players and everybody around him for everything this year. And he says that that God has his best, kind of
Plans in front of him.
Yeah, there you go. Lands in front of him going forward. So I don't know how I take that per se. I just don't know how the Broncos can move on from Cortland Sutton right now with where they're at. Now, is he going to be part of a reconstruct? I mean, he's have to reconstruct his contract going forward. That's a possibility, absolutely, and they're probably going to approach him with that, just because again his cap hit. If you can lower that and put that into signing bonuses, I don't know if Cortland wants to do that, but I mean he's going to get his money regardless. We'll see if he wants to do that, but he's definitely part of that. I don't know that it's a good buy per se, because again, if Sean Payton truly wants to win, does he really want to get rid of his best wide receiver? It's really you just don't know. So I don't think Cortland Sutton's gone. I don't read too much into that per se. I think it was pretty interesting for sure. I just think Cortland's just thanking everybody around him and thanking God, which would, I mean, again, for everything and just putting him in the position to come back. Because again, he was dealing with a major injury not too long ago. So just thanking him for where he's at now and continuing to go forward in his career. So I don't think that was a good buy per se, but I think it is definitely something that we need to monitor. I just wouldn't be overly concerned about right now. I think the Broncos have other issues in front of them right now that need to be concerned about more than just Cortland Sutton.
Very good, man. I'll try not to read too much into those tea leaves anymore, man, because at first that was a shocker for me. I wasn't sure. Not a shocker. Pearl Heater coming in and saying hello or hi all. Hello to you. Appreciate you being in here, Pearl, of course. Fantastic supporter as well. And I know who this guy is. Aloha, boys. Hopefully VJ is gone. I just don't think the consistency and hunger is there. And that, of course, a good friend Patrick Wilsey, Aloha, boys. Imagine that's the only person it could be. By the way, guys, before I bring on our first special guest, I just want to say this real quick. We tried to do a promotion a little while back, and this is how I'm going to try to remedy the situation that I caused myself, guys. If you want to be in for our drawing, and it's right up at the top of Rocky Mountain Sports Network's page, you can check it out anytime. Head on over to YouTube. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and when you go in the comments, just type winner. Type winner. I'm going to look for anybody who just types winner. You're going to be entered into the drawing for our giveaway. I'll mention this again, mention it over a few shows, and then we'll get that all taken care of. You guys have been fantastic in being patient and waiting. Also being impatient and waiting, guys. It's the man, the myth, the legend. I got a couple of them this evening. I want to bring on first and foremost Mr. Luke Patterson. That's right. Your own little segment over here at the Denver Bronco Roundup, man. Spot on with Luke Patterson. Luke, welcome to the show, man. Thank you so much for being here, sir.
Boys, what is going on? Pumped to be here. It's quite the intro, man. I mean, I hope I can live up to it.
You always will. You always do. You always will, Luke. Appreciate you so much. Of course, Mile High Huddle, Mile High Insider over there, just banging it out with article after article. The reason it's called Spot On with Luke Patterson, man, I go to you, man. I only go to you for all the info, man. You are spot on more times than not, man. So you get your own little segment over here, Spot On with Luke Patterson. Hats off to you, sir, man.
I appreciate it. Don't make this big head any bigger than it already is, Keith. But look, Broncos country, I get it. We're in a weird point right now, right, fellas? We got playoff weekend, wild card weekend, games Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. The Broncos aren't in them, right? That's tough. It makes us a little bitter. It makes us wonder, do we just chase ahead to the draft? Do we need to draft a quarterback? We don't even know who's going to be on the coaching staff in a couple weeks, fellas. We need to slow down. We need to pump the brakes. It's okay to be excited about the draft. It's okay to overreact. That time is right now. But I urge everyone to just settle down just a little bit when it comes to the Denver Broncos.
And I wanted to get to that because I think you have a very settled mind when it comes to something very much in particular. And it's one that not a lot of people have. A lot of people are on the opposite side of things, man. You talk about pumping the brakes. Well, it's icy roads out there. I know all about pumping the brakes. I'm just going to say this right now, though, man. Pumping the brakes on Sean Payton's got to go. We have a good friend over at the K&K Sports Show, Mr. Kurt Valente. He wants him out the door. He wants Jim Harbaugh in instead, man. So I watched your last podcast. I think you might be spot on. You're kind of on board with let's trust with Payton in Payton we trust. Let's trust this coach and where we're heading. Talk about a little bit that about that,
Trevor,
Luke.
Yeah, Keith, Trevor, you guys know. I mean, Sean Payton hasn't even been here a full year yet. I know that we want to say that his first year is over. It's really not. The calendar year for an NFL head coach is really broke up into two parts, as you guys know. You've got the regular season, and then you have the off season. Coach talked about it. He's finishing up, making the calendar for the off season. He wants everybody out of the building. We're going to take a week off, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to reconvene. We're going to make a plan, and we're going to assess. When you look at facts, let's just look at facts, right? Because this crazy world that we're in, it's so divisive. We all have to live through identity, whatever, on social media. Let's just look at facts when it comes to Sean Payton. I wanted Sean Payton here. That's fact number one. I've always wanted him. I like him. He was my number one candidate. But the reason I wanted him is, one, he's unapologetic. Two, he's bold. He's independent. I consider him a master of preparation, and I think he has some forward thinking. Now, let's talk facts, right? The Broncos finished a lot better than they did in 2022, all right? They were 8-9. I know, folks, it's not good enough. Third place in the AFC West, not good enough. But the Broncos, man, they snapped some streaks, fellas. The Chiefs' 16-game winning streak, that is over. The Broncos finished with a winning record at home. When's the last time they did that? 2019? The same year that they went 3-3 in the division. It's been that long, fellas. Wow. So Sean Payton has knocked some dominoes down. This has been the first time since 2016 the Broncos have logged at least 8 wins. Now, is it good enough? No. Sean Payton will be the first to tell you. I was disappointed with Sean Payton a lot this season. I was disappointed, one, with his very first hire at defensive coordinator in Vance Joseph. So just because I'm saying I wanted Sean Payton here, guys, does not mean that he is immune from criticism, and he has to improve as well. Coach said it. This is looked at as an 8-9 record. It's not good enough. And I think the expectations for Sean Payton to win now in 2024 are there. They're there from the Walton Penner ownership group. They're there with good old George. I heard you guys talking about George Payton right before I popped on. I mean, they want to do it Sean's way, come hell or high water.
Yeah, it's looking that way. It's absolutely looking that way, man. And I just I'm going to bring it over to Trevor. I'll bring it back around to you, Luke. But talk a little bit, Trevor, about, to me, what looked like a little bit of humility from Sean Payton in his final press conference, something that I don't think I saw all season long. I don't think I saw a whole lot of humility, quite honestly, when he got caught drinking lattes. So the humility that he had at the end of the season, what'd you think about that, Trevor?
Yeah, that's what I love to see from Sean Payton. Again, he's not exactly easiest guy to cover, and I would say I think a lot of local Denver reporters can say that. I think a couple of times he's just, what's the question? What's the question? That's just one of the few things he had to say to those reporters. So I mean he's kind of a pain in the what to cover in the regular season, but at least there's some humility in this offseason. I think he's just trying to relax and trying to look forward to what his plan, his future with the Broncos. And again, it's really good to see that. And taking a step away from everything. It's just something that is so important, I think, when you're a coach, and players just get away for a little bit. Again, we love football, the game of football so much, but you don't want to make no rash decision right after the season's over. You need to take some time away, think about it. I'm sure he's thinking about it throughout this week. He's thinking about it until he comes back into the building. What's going to go on? What's with us and with the rest of the team? He's going to be thinking about that, no doubt. But just take some time away, because again, these decisions are franchise changing decisions that he's about to make. So you have to hit on those, and I think he knows that. And he's been through this before. So again, it's just taking time away and just continuing to look forward to to helping this organization be better. And again, he's done a lot of great things this year, and probably just reflecting what some things he needed to work on. Again, I like him admitting also some of the things that maybe he didn't do so well. I really like that. And the coach taking accountability, that's huge. And I hope going forward he looks back at that and he can improve, because again, yeah, it was such a big hire, and I know sometimes I'm really hard on Sean Payton just because giving up a premium for him. I expect a lot right away, but again, coaching side of things and just taking a deeper dive into it, it takes more than just one season to change what this team has had a losing culture for the past 7 seasons. So it takes time to get there. So I trust Sean Payton. We need to changing a coach this offseason. It's not going to do nothing. You need consistency in that building. They haven't had that since Gary Kubiak. So you got to have that going forward. So definitely love seeing Sean Payton, be dialed in, and can't wait to see what the Broncos do this offseason, which is going to be an important offseason going forward for this franchise.
Trevor, you're exactly right, man. We talk about humble pie. We all need a slice every once in a while, right? And Sean Payton, maybe he needed the whole pie, right? And this is a guy that loves Sean Payton, but the guy screwed up a lot this season. And being away from the game for a whole season, a calendar year, whatever we want to call it, I think we saw some of that. I think Coach was a little rusty with his challenges or lack thereof. I thought one slice of that humble pie he brought out was very interesting at the presser. Guys, he goes, I need to get my eyes checked. And everybody laughs. So he's like, no, seriously, I called the wrong play this year. How embarrassing was that? And I thought, wow, good. Big bad wolf, Sean Payton. He's such an ass, right? Well, I thought that showed just a little bit of a human element. Now, he does get after those in the Denver media, right? But trust me, they can handle it, right? They all talk that big boy talk on social media. They'll be all right down there at UC Health Training Center. But look, guys, Sean Payton knows it's not good enough. He was brought here to win, and 8-9 is not good enough. But damn it, when was the last time we could say the Broncos played meaningful football in December? When was that, boys? I mean, 2016, they were still on the cusp a little bit. It's the last time they finished with a winning season. I mean, we can question Sean Payton's moves, and we should question some of these moves. Mike McGlinchey, Sean, I don't know if you've heard, but right tackle has been an issue here for a long time. Sean Payton had to have Mike McGlinchey. That's his guy. We're wondering if that was the true problem solver still. And we like Mike McGlinchey, right? The whole fan base. It's not about liking a guy. It's about, are they productive? And Sean Payton, the play caller, was not as productive as he should have been. With or without Russell Wilson as the head coach, Trevor, you're exactly right. They're paying him a king's ransom to be here. They had to pay a king's ransom to get him. Well, damn it, it's time to start winning some championships. It's time to be in that conversation. But the Broncos were close. They were close, fellas, and I know that doesn't make us feel any better, especially watching Joe Flacco play a freaking playoff game against Kareem Jackson's Houston Texans tomorrow, all right? I get it. I'm upset. I'm grouchy about it too, but, this Jim Harbaugh thing for me of man, we should have hired Jim. We should have just waited a year. Jim hasn't coached in 10 years in the NFL. So if this rust is on Sean Payton for 1 year, imagine the Jim Harbaugh rust in 10. And I'm not saying coach can't do it. Just won a national championship. He's been to a Super Bowl. His success speaks for itself. I think he's got like a 70% regular season record in the league right now, Jim Harbaugh. So look, coulda, woulda, shoulda. We know one thing, Keith, Trev, Sean Payton's in charge. He's in charge for the least handful of years that he's here.
Very good, man. I want to get your thoughts on this, Luke. I'm going to spring this on you a little bit, man.
Yeah.
I've always wondered this, man. If you were sitting in on those pressers, man, because you're pretty hard on those guys who sit in those pressers. Give me a question or two that you would like answered, that you would ask sitting in those pressers.
Yeah. I love it.
Because
Well,
I know that it feels a little light, it feels a little glad
it's always
handling.
light, man. You got some dogs out there, right? And some guys and gals that have really treated me great in my come up. And I used to be able to get some of those questions, not so much. Maybe that's why, right? They've restricted my access a little bit per source, whatever I got to say. No, everybody over there at the Broncos, they've been good to me as well. Here's what I got to say to some of the softball questions. I get it. It's a media game. You want to have access. You want to be there. You want to get there. There are some guys and gals that ask tough questions, and I got to give props to Kliss, Troy Rank, Jeff Legwald, Romy Bean. I mean, these cats will get after it a little bit when they need to. Now, one of my questions I would have asked Coach Sean Payton during the whole Russell Wilson debacle, right? It was George that came to him. It wasn't Coach. I would ask, Coach, why do you consider Russell Wilson the backup? Why isn't he inactive? This whole thing could have been avoided. The sideline drama, the panning in on Russ, the interview at his locker. You're getting rid of him. He knows you're getting rid of him. What happens if a backup quarterback comes in and gets hurt? Has that been considered? Why was Russ even active? I don't understand it. I really don't get that. That would have been one question right there. I think, Coach saying there are some things I could have done better. What specifically could you have done better besides the red zone calling? Can we talk about personality? Coach, a lot's been made about your temper tantrum on the sideline in Detroit. Do you think there's a place for yelling and screaming in today's NFL? I mean, can we get something like this? Coach is going to he would jump on you like a lion on a gazelle. But I mean, we can post these questions to social media, but we don't always post them to the coach, to the man himself. Coach, can you explain offensive coordinator Lombardi's role with the team as it relates to play calling and overall game preparation? Because, guys, I don't know what he's here for, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful. He's the grandson of a living legend. Right? The Super Bowl trophy is named after him, for crying out loud, right? But why is this man here? Coach, would you ever consider giving up play calling to better manage the team? I mean, some of these questions, these aren't rocket science questions, right? We're asking these as we're yelling at the TV, right? I mean, these sorts of things come up. But look, Sean's not always going to give you an answer either. My partner, Tom Hall, likes to say Sean will reveal his thoughts without saying things. The fewer the words, the better for Sean Payton. So Sean Payton's measured. He reminds me a lot of Mike Shanahan. I didn't get to cover Mike, but I was around Mike. I played with some of his coaches' kids here in the Denver metro area, and Mike played his cards close to the vest, boys. You know that. Sean Payton's the same way. So Sean will say what he has to say, but he'll add some flair to it. He's himself, whether you think he's an ass or not. I respect that in today's day and age. I mean, the man is himself. He's loyal to his family. He's loyal to his employer, and he's loyal to his team. Russell Wilson's on that team right now. I think Coach was very humble with the way he handled Russell Wilson's benching. I might be the only one that thinks that. I thought he was very complimentary of Russell Wilson, and he dove on the sword when he got here, boys. He said that was Hackett's fault. Hackett did that to Russ. So Coach immediately took all the pressure off of Russ, and then somehow at the end of the year, he's the devil for benching him. I don't know. Reasonable minds can disagree, boys, but it doesn't make for boring times here in Broncos country. That's for sure.
Sure doesn't. I was thinking as you were talking about all that loyalty, man, Luke, you have been so loyal to me, to helping me out in this industry, to hanging around, to coming on this show this evening. Please take a few seconds before you get out of here, because I told you we'd only keep you on here for about 10 or 15 minutes. You've already maxed it out. I know it goes so quick, but talk a little bit about everything that you have going on before you get out of here. You deserve it, my friend.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you guys. No, man, it's, a lot of folks ask us, right, in this business, and you guys are in this business. How do I do what you do? Just start doing it. Just to have, if you don't have to have someone believe in you, believe in yourself. Just start getting these reps in, whether that be any job, sports media, whatever, school, just get a start and get going. Otherwise you'll waste the rest of your life wondering what if. You can follow me on X, if you will, at Luke Patterson LP. Head on over to milehighhuddle.com. We're getting ready for draft coverage right now. So that's my big thing, right? Who are the Broncos going to select at quarterback? Who's my favorite quarterback? All these things I'm just now getting into, right? Because you've got college football guy, And college football guy's a nut, right? That guy's Nick Kendall, my old partner, and he studies, he grades all year college football. I'm just starting. I'm the pro guy, so I'm a little late to the party, but I'll tell you, Jaden Daniels, boys, I do like the look of LSU Jaden Daniels. So we'll just leave that right there.
Ooh. I do too.
You like Jaden Daniels? Look, boys, I think, and not to completely hijack your show here, but Sean Payton's got to be aggressive in the draft, right? If he wants one of these quarterbacks, no matter who it is, you're gonna have to go up to get him. They're picking at 12 off the top of my head.
Yep.
You're probably gonna have to move to the top 5. Forget the top 10. That's 2 spots away. You've got so many quarterback needy teams. The debate will now wage if the Broncos should trade up and who should they go draft.
Wow, man.
Probably even top 3. Honestly, probably top 3. If I go, you might see 3 quarterbacks go straight.
You gave me goosebumps because now I'm thinking, oh no, that's an even bigger problem. I'm trying to prepare for 10 and 5. We're moving to top 3. I'm not ready for it, Trev. Not ready for it.
Look, I gotta ask you one more question before you leave.
All right.
Would you trade Patterson Surtain and draft picks to move up for a quarterback?
Do I love the quarterback or do I think he'll work out?
If you can get the pick number, let's just say 2. So you Caleb Williams off the board.
Yes, I would trade. Yes. Okay. Yes. And here is the reason being. And Mike, you're exactly right. You're looking at a potential 12-2. I love Pat Surtain. I was in the minority when he was drafted here. Micah Parsons was my number 1 prospect in that draft, and then I wanted Pat Surtain. To be fair, I have missed on so many quarterbacks. I'll be the first to tell you that as well. I'm a Trevor Siemian guy, right? I was that guy saying, oh, Trevor Siemian, everybody. Look how that turned out. It truly is one of the toughest things to do in all of sports, as you guys know, is evaluate the quarterback position. But if I'm head coach of this football team, if I have fallen head over heels in love with a quarterback, I am moving heaven and earth to go get him. I'm Sean Payton. I already don't give a gee whiz what everybody thinks about me anyway. For the Russell Wilson thing, for the Nathaniel Hackett thing, you think I'm going to care if you're mad that I gave up some draft picks to go get the guy that I love? Tom likes to tell me all the time, boys, Sean Payton has never drafted and developed a quarterback. Well, neither have the Denver Broncos. It's time that we change that.
Absolutely.
There you go, man. I love it, man. Always bringing the heat. Lots of hot takes. Luke, thank you so much. Make sure you're, searching out Luke Patterson on all the different platforms. Luke, thank you again so much. Have a great evening, sir. Appreciate you a ton, man.
Thank you,
be good, boys. DBR. Stay tuned.
All right. Thank you so much, Luke. Have a great night, sir.
Have a great night.
Yeah, spot on with Luke Patterson, man. I'm telling you, man, he brings it, guys. If you haven't checked out, like I said, whether you checking out X, whether you check out all his fantastic articles that he puts out all year long. Of course, he's a Mile High Insider. You need to check out that over on YouTube, over on Facebook as well. Man, Luke Patterson, thank you so much for jumping in here and being part of the show. So, man, what'd you get from that, Trevor? I know that we'll have Joey Clams coming up here, and boy, what we got, like 9 minutes we have Joey Clams, if maybe not even just a little bit sooner. I know he's sitting backstage. We'll get him on here in just a moment, but what'd you think about Luke Patterson, man, and his thoughts on Sean Payton? And Sean Payton we trust, and if Sean Payton wants to move from 12-2, as Michael Ronquillo was written up there, we should just go ahead and trust in Sean Payton and go ahead and follow that lead. Do you agree, Trevor?
Yeah, I mean, again, first of all, I just want to thank Luke so much because, again, I respect what he does, all his work. He's so awesome, and his passion, you can tell him, you can feel it as soon as he comes in the room. I just absolutely love Luke Patterson, and we definitely have to have him on, definitely more because he's just such a legend in my mind, and just really love him coming on the show and really promoting us as well. So he's just amazing, legend by all means, and just thank you, Luke, once again for coming on here. You are fantastic. Yeah, I mean, again, I have trouble trading up in the top 3 because I think it's going to be next to impossible. I think, and again, nothing's impossible, but again, so let's go down the board. You have Chicago, Washington, and New England. All 3 have what do they have in common? All need a quarterback. Now we'll see what Chicago does with Fields, but again, they're likely to move on. So we'll see what happens. But again, it's just I don't know that I'm willing to trade a certain a Pro Bowl cornerback like Patrick Surtain and picks for a maybe and a quarterback. Because again, Sean Payton hasn't developed a quarterback. So it's just like, we'll see what happens. I don't think that Denver is in the greatest position to trade up because you're giving so much more flexibility away. Again, these 2 off seasons in a row, we've seen this team give up draft picks after draft picks after draft picks for a quarterback and a head coach. It's not worked out. Now we're in this position where we're at. Yeah, this team is definitely better. I think record wise and in certain different ways, little by little, we're getting there offensively and defensively. We've seen some spurts, but again, I'm not sure I'm ready to move up to 3 yet. We shall see what happens. And again, it takes 2 teams to do so. So we definitely want to, as Bronco fans and people that cover this team, we definitely want them to trade up. Will that other team want to play ball with Denver? That's the next thing, and that's just something that I'm not sure that's going to happen. And again, for me, I'm more let's trade back and go from there. If your quarterback's not at 12, and then again, they might have to trade up for Michael Penix. I mean, he might go. I've heard so many different things, and as we get closer to the draft, we'll find out.
Yes.
I think he's definitely a first round pick, but if he goes top 10, I mean, you have 3 quarterbacks that go top 3, just in and 1, 2, 3. You have so many different quarterback needy teams right there that may take Penix, and so Denver might have to move up for him. I just don't know, if that's something they want to do with his injury history and everything else. We'll see what happens if Sean Payton truly thinks he's a guy. Whatever they do, I just want Denver to get a starter. They need to get an impact player day one. This is why I don't want JJ McCarthy at 12. If you want to trade back and get assets and then select McCarthy, that's a different thing. It's a different ballgame. But at 12, he's probably sitting this first year. More than likely, he's probably sitting. He is a raw quarterback, and Denver doesn't have the playmakers around him and the running game around him to make him successful. So that's why I said I'm leaving a little backlash on JJ McCarthy just because he was successful in college. That doesn't mean anything. There's so many different things that go into these quarterbacks and evaluating them, and every player is just so. So it's just again, at the end of the day, I just want Denver to do what's best for them. If they want to trade up, I will support it. Eventually, I don't know right away if I will support it. If they want to trade back, I definitely support that because, again, you have to keep this in mind. This team has 6 total draft picks. We'll see what they do with Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy might be someone they might end up moving on from because, again, you're going to have to decide that. You might move on from Jerry Jeudy and get more draft capital. So we'll see as we get closer to the draft. And free agency will have an impact on this team too. Will this team, if they go out and sign a bridge quarterback like a Ryan Tannehill, as Kobe Brissett, if they do indeed move on from Russell Wilson, do they need to go quarterback round 1, or do you go in a different position that helps this team in other ways? Because you have so many different holes, and then go maybe quarterback in the second round. Maybe you can trade up then.
Ways to go, man.
Yeah, there's so many different ways you can go over, and we're going to have that covered here at DBR all off season long. So keep in tune, and we'll be covering as soon as we get close to the draft. Right now, it's just kind of like it's out there. So many different scenarios. It's crazy. We will definitely find out.
Haven't had a Shrine Bowl, haven't had a Senior Bowl, haven't had a Combine, haven't even had a mock draft yet. I mean, boy, there is options upon options upon options. And one thing I know that Joey Clams will come on here in just minutes, man. Give me like 2 minutes, Joey. I'm going to throw your intro up here, and then we'll be on. Joey, and can attest to this though, man. The amount of times that I've seen guys at the top of the draft board go to the middle of the draft board, from the middle of the draft board, go to the top of the draft board, and everything in between, let alone, like you said, the roll of the dice. You know what I mean? You're out there, doing a little bit of gambling in and of itself, as the draft always is, man. So, want to go ahead and hit just a couple of comments. We'll go ahead and then throw Joey Clams' new intro up and get Joey Clams on here. And Joey Clams is a riot, guys. I can't wait for you to introduce him onto the show here. But Michael Ronquillo saying Justin Simmons, 2 first rounds and 1/3. You get to the number 2 pick. I got to give it up from Graham. Graham's coming in. He's on YouTube, our preferred platform. Graham, if you didn't hear already, make sure that you type winner in to the comments in YouTube to be entered for our contest giveaway. Anybody that wants to flip over to YouTube, check out the Denver Bronco Roundup. Check it out on Rocky Mountain Sports Network. That's where you're going to find it, guys. And then make sure you, again, type in winner into the comments. But he is taking a little trip, and he decided he's going to check in with us while in Hawaii. Graham, my goodness, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it, man. I wouldn't, dedication upon dedication, my feet would be in the sand. Appreciate the awesome jacket. It's -27 here with feeling like negative 43. I saw Graham rubbing it in as he was telling me it was 79 degrees a little bit earlier today over there in Hawaii. So thanks, Graham. I appreciate it, man. But no, I hope you're enjoying yourself, and thank you so much for being in here. Really quick, I did see Pearl talking about this a little bit earlier. Kelly Klein for a third if the Raiders hire her. That is very true. If Kelly Klein, who is interviewing and possibly with the Raiders, if she is hired, we do got to get a compensatory pick. So that being said, gentlemen, I wanted to, this is something a little bit new for us. We usually talk only Broncos. We're going to be talking some playoffs, but more importantly, we're going to talk a little bit about, maybe putting a little bit of money down. I know that wagering is available in a lot of different areas of the country and a lot of different states now. So without further ado, I'm going to throw the 10-second promo up, and then we're going to have Mr. Joey Clams. Here we go, guys. You bet with Joey Clams. Mr. Joey Clams, thank you so much, sir, for joining the show. Man, myth, the legend. I just saw a clip where Jimmy Fallon was talking to Mr. Joey Clams, if I remember right. How you doing, sir?
Doped up horses, crooked zebras, shaven point guards. Let's go. Let's gamble. Place your bets. How you doing, everybody? How are you?
We're doing fantastic, Joey, man. So thank you so much, man. Joey Clams, part of Wits Wagers, K&K Sports Show. Joey, how long you been wagering?
Probably since I was 4 years old.
Okay, very good. So about 8 years now.
Yeah, I'm 58. Since I'm 4 years old, I've been gambling with the football tickets and sheets. I grew up in Brooklyn, and that's all that was around me was everything like that. It was just normal. Like in school, I was handing out the football sheets, like the parlay tickets you would call them. We call them the football tickets, the sheets, and probably in the third grade, teachers, crossing guard, and even we went to the candy store up the block. The guy, he had his football tickets. Everybody gambled. And you started when you got to probably 10 years old. You placed your first bet with a bookmaker. We had places you just walk in. You put $12 up and you play a $12 2-team parlay to get you back 12,
Yeah, absolutely. Joey telling the stories of old, man. I appreciate you, man.
Stories, forget about it. We can go on that. I was really deep down involved, in the bookmaking business. Growing up, and I was a bookmaker. I was runner, everything.
There you go, man. That's why I brought him on, everybody.
Listen, hey, I like Payton as your coach. You can't get rid of the guy. The guy walked into a tire fire. You know what? You got to clean. He had to come in. He's got to clean out the place, clean up and clean out. You know what? He'll get it right. He improved the team. He's got. You know what? That guy is gonna. That's what you need in an organization, and bring somebody like that in there, that takes over the building and brings character there and make and some stability.
I agree, Joey, man. You got to give the coach a chance. I'm going to get to a few comments just really quick. My audio is a little bit choppy on my end, guys. Hopefully it's coming through okay. We do have Graham checking in, saying hi, Joey, by the way. We also have Mr. Kurt Valente saying, Clams, Jenny Hoops had a nice salad with meatballs. My treat. Go Michigan.
Oh, nice. See, the guy's a big sport right there, Kurt Valente. As soon as something goes wrong, he wants to get rid of everybody.
Ain't that the truth?
Everybody. I heard
Joey.
Before you were talking about like you said, you could see somebody up here going down and somebody down moving up. Believe me, I seen it in '83, waiting for Dan Marino for the Jets to pick him. They let him go. And they took Kenny O'Brien, who was good, but you know what? You let Dan Marino go. That's what you sum up with the JETS Jets.
That is so true. Joey, you came on here. You were talking parlays and the whole 9 yards. I'll be honest. This is for a lot of our viewers. This might be an introduction to Gambling 101. So I'm going to use you for an introduction. Gambling 101. We're going to be going through all the super wild card weekend games here in just a minute. But what we're going to be really looking at are two things: the plus minus and the point spread, the over under, right?
Yeah.
So talk a little bit. What is the plus minus? Just as an example, we got Browns giving up 2 points or, to the Texans.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
The Browns, the market thinks the Browns are 2 points better than the Texans on the road. If this was on a neutral field, the Browns would be favorite probably maybe 4.5 points. And if the Browns were home, they'd probably be favored by 6.5, maybe 7 points. You get 3 points for the home to be the home team. When you're for home field, you get 3 points. So they got the Browns. This number's been going back and forth from 2 to 2.5, and the half points mean a lot. And the money line on this game without the points, you could take the Browns minus 135. So you don't have to worry the points in case the Browns win 24-23. You have points. Texans catching the money then,
Yep.
So if you like the Texans, you're getting 2 or 2.5 points and you're the home team. On the money line, you could get the Texans. If you think they're going to win the game outright without the points, you could get them probably for a plus 115 on every 100.
Gotcha. Yeah, I had a earlier number written down of plus 112 on that. But, we're going to go ahead and we're going to be concentrating on that, plus minus. But we're also going to be looking at the over under. Over under on this one is 44.5. Talk about what the over under is and maybe how you would end up betting this particular game.
The over and under is the combination of both teams scored. So they put out a number with they calculate. They put 44. So if you divide 44 by 2, it's 22. And since the Browns are favored by 2, this is how you figure out the team total. This is how you figure out the line and everything. So 2 is half. So the line is 2. So that means you take 1 point and add it to the Browns total of 23, and then you take a point from 22 and minus it for Texas since they're the underdog, and that becomes the team total of 22, 21.5. So the 23 and the 21.5 equals 44. That's where the total is, and that's what because they have over and under on the individual teams also.
Yep.
The Browns, they throw the ball a lot, and so the clock stops a lot, and they're going to be. The Texans throw the ball a lot. I like this game to be moving, and in the air, and I like this game to go over. I'm on the over in this game. This is a play for me over the 44.
Very good. Very good, Joey. I'm going to move over to the Dolphins and the Chiefs real quick. Chiefs are favored by 5 points currently, and the over-under on this one is 44. Where would you go on this particular game?
When this game opened up on Sunday night, I jumped on it. We laid 3 right away because we knew this line was going to jump right away. So we jumped on it, and we laid 3. Not that we really like the Chiefs, but we like the number 3 because we knew that it was going to go up. And look, it's already at 5. If I want to come back on the other side, I could get plus 5 or plus 5.5. If it goes to 5.5, I'm going to buy it and take the Dolphins plus 6. And I'll have a middle going on. I'll have the Chiefs minus 3, Dolphins plus 6. Maybe, I'll have more on the Chiefs than the Dolphins, but I'll have a little sprinkle on to catch the middle because the numbers are always full. The numbers fall all the time right around there. But in this game, you know what? Miami's going to be able to run the ball on Kansas City. I know that, everybody's saying about the cold weather that Miami, they don't. They travel well in the cold weather. They're like 2-9 when it's like under 40 degrees, something like that. But, and Kansas City's going to be running the ball too. Dolphins are missing a lot of people on their defense. Kansas City just got two tackles back on their offensive line. They rested a lot of guys last week. They're ready to go. And this game has been on 44. It went down to 43.5 on the total for a day, and then now it's back up. It's 43.5, and there's still 44s. With the weather that they're saying that's going to be the wind chill factor of 30, how come this total's not dropping? What I'm saying, they figure there's going to be some points scored in this game, even though the weather's going to be bad. I'm on the over. We went over 43.5.
Wow. I'm surprised on that one, but let's go ahead and I'm going to round out the AFC, and then we'll jump over to the NFC. I want to throw a couple of questions in between, maybe one from me, one from Trevor. Steelers, Bills. Bills are favored by 9. The over/under in this one is 34.
Yeah, this total opened up at 39.5, 40, and it went way down to 34. And there's some 33.5s out there, and the line, the spread itself was around 10. There was 10.5s. It went to 9.5, and now it just dropped to 9. The total's dropping, and the line is dropping. That's telling you that they're telling you it's going to be really, with the total dropping, it's only 33.5. It's going to be a really tight game, and that's too much in between. Say the spread is 9 to the total 33. There's no wiggle room like for the favorite. You got to take the points there like that. I would take. I didn't play the game, but I would have took the 10.5 when it was around. And now I'll wait and see what else is going on. It's supposed to be 26 inches of snow while the game is on 30 to 40 miles an hour. When it's going to be a running game. There's a prop bet in here over 16.5 rushing attempts from Josh Allen. If you guys out there play props, there's a prop out there for you.
Very good, Joey. My question was this, like I said, we're all kind of new, kind of basic here. Is there anything for you that changes from regular season to playoffs in general?
Yeah, on the gambling side, it's harder now because you know what, you only have 6 games, and next week there'll be 4 games, and so now there's not a lot of where you can figure out and find the mistake. When there's a lot of games on the board, you can find the mistake, and there's a lot of games going on, so there's more injuries and stuff like that. So the hand right now gets a little tougher, but that's the only thing that changes. And now what changes here is you look for the quarterback and the coach. That's what I'm looking. That's where you look when you make a play. Always put that on the top of your page. Let me see who's the quarterback and who's the coach. Then you go, the line and all that. You check that out. That's how you want to cap it like that. You throw that around in there, and and half a points mean a lot. And see if you've got a bad offensive line, they don't travel good in the playoffs on the road. You look for things to look for. There's so many things to look at. It takes a lot of time. You just don't want to go pick a team. And you know what you got to do? Always forget what you see.
Very good, Joey. That was my question. I'm going to throw it over to Trevor. Trevor, do you have a question for Joey?
Yeah, so thank you for coming on, Mr. Clams. Really appreciate it. Really respect your work, what you do over there at the K&K Sports Show. Thank you for joining us. So I just got a question here, Joey. I'll put it simple. Do you think that we see an upset this weekend, wild card weekend, and if so, who?
You know what? You always do. There's always a live dog. Road dogs are good in these spots. Everybody that's playing is pretty like pretty equal. Everybody's pretty equal. So I definitely see a couple of upsets here that could happen. Everybody's live. I think everybody's live. I even think the Steelers are live. They love to. This is Steeler football. They love to muck it up, mud, dirt, like pigs, like in a mud, like rolling around like hawks. They're gonna love it like this. They could get lucky or fumble here, there. They're grabbing a lot of points too, and they could win a game. Listen, Miami could go up there and shock you. They got the weapons. the first game, Texans are home. You know what? Young coach, rookie quarterback, they're live. And listen, and Sunday at 4:30, Packers and Cowboys. The last 2 minutes of that game, you trust McCarthy?
True. Let's that's a great segue. Let's go ahead and hit that game. We'll do rapid fire these last 3 games, Joey. Packers, Cowboys. Cowboys are favored by 7. Over under is 50.5. What are you thinking on this game?
I think they're going to be throwing the ball all over the yard. I like the over in this game, over the 50. And I like the Cowboys team total over 29 or 20. If you could get 28.5, I like that. I would take the Pack. I think the Cowboys will win the game, but I'll take the Packers with the points because I could see this guy just coming down even when they're down. He's got a lot to prove. He's a rookie. He's gonna go down fighting and swinging. Cowboy and the Packers always good for a nice backdoor cover, especially against the Cowboys. So I would take the Packers plus the 7.5, get it up to that 7.5, and I go over in this game. And the Cowboys total over.
Very nice. Next one on the docket, Rams, Lions. Lions favored by 3. Over under on this one is 51.5.
You know what? When this game came out, it was 3.5. We took the dog. We took the Rams plus the 3.5 right away. You knew this was coming down the 3. That hook wasn't going to be there, so we took it. Look, there's a coach quarterback. Lions are a good team, but their defense their secondary is not good, and he's gonna tear them apart. He's gonna do damage, and the only way the Lions I think could win this game is running the ball, and playing and slowing down the game. Because if Goff has to throw the ball, they're playing that safety, that deep shell. He's terrible against that, and I think he'll be in trouble if they got to throw the ball. The Lions have to get the lead, and they got to run the ball. I took the Rams plus the 3.5.
Nicely done. Last one on the docket, the faltering Eagles versus the surprising Buccaneers. Eagles are favored by 3. Over under is 43.5.
Boy, I mean, wow.
Yeah.
You know what? I went on. I took the under in this game.
Okay.
Went on the 44 in this game. In that game, the side. The side, the line is Eagles are 3.
Mm-hmm.
If you take Tampa Bay plus the 3, you see there's a little number there. I can't see the number, but there's a little number. That's what the juice is. It's telling you, say you got Buccaneers plus 3, but you're minus like say 115, 180.
Last number I saw was 160.
Oh, that's the money line. No, there's a number.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, there's a number underneath the spread number.
Okay.
Actually, like with a little minus sign, and it tells you it tells you where the money's really moving. So if like the line is 3, they don't want to move the line to 3.5, but say 2.5, and then people could take 3.5, and when it lands 3, you're standing on the corner in front of Macy's. With your finger in your shorts. You know what I'm saying?
There's the East Coast. There's the Joey Clams we all know and love.
Macy's Day Parade. Yeah. Took the Rams plus the 3.5. Yeah, but the Eagle game on the under. I don't have a side yet. But, that's why sometimes we get late information. Like tonight, I get some information. And then I get information on Saturday and Sunday morning too. With the injury reports. We did really good this year. I got a couple of guys I give games to. We did really good. Last NFL, we were 28. I was 28-5 on the sides against the spread, like the last 3 weeks, and then 17 had 18 in the totals. But it's tough now for the playoffs. But we'll see what we're gonna do. Always be informed. Hey, listen, we're going on tomorrow at 11 o'clock. What's his name? The Claw. Carson, Clams and Claws. We go on at 11, and then we go on, and we're going to go back on Sunday at 12 o'clock, an hour before kickoff.
So there you have it, man. That's the time to check him out, man. Joey Clams, always keeping you up to date. Amazing stats, man, as far as against the spread. Fantastic year, Joey. Congratulations, man. And if you want that advice, you need to be tuning in to the K&K Sports Show. You need to be checking out Wits and Wagers. You need to be checking out Claws and Clams. Joey, is there anything else before I get you out of here, man? Our audio's a little bit jumpy, so I'm going to have to jump here pretty quick, bud. What do you got to say before I jump you out of here, man?
Hey, listen, Pete and Trevor and all you guys over there, you know what? Drinks around the house. You know what I'm saying, my man? Hello. Hey, tune in tomorrow. You know what? Things could change. Whatever I said today, all of a sudden tomorrow is going to be something different. Late information. That's what you got to do. You're putting your money up. Make sure you do it the right way. I'll try to help you out as much as I can, everybody. So everybody, listen. Let's go. Good luck tomorrow. And you know what? Pay to play. Let's go.
Thank you, Mr. Joey Clams. Thank you for waiting backstage so much. And thank you. Have a great evening. Make sure you check out Clams Saturday, Sunday, all that late breaking information. You're going to need it, guys. Thank you, Joey. Have a great night, sir.
Joey. Have a great night. Thank you.
Go, baby.
You bet, Joey Clams. Sorry, anybody who was dealing with the audio. Hopefully, it was a little better on your end than it was on ours. But Joey Clams, fantastic. Check him out, K&K Sports Show. I'm always trying to check out the Wits and Wagers. But like he said, I want to say two things. Gamble responsibly. I know Joey Clams is always about, hey, you get your units, which means your dollars. I don't care if it's $5, you got 5 units. You're only betting those 5 units. You don't try to earn it back. You don't try to go in. You decide how much you can spend before you go in, and that's all you spend. But if you want all the late breaking information, you do need to keep up to speed. Keep up to speed with the K&K Sports Show and Joey Clams. It sounds like they're going to have everyone up to speed right up to the last minute on almost every single weekend, every single game this weekend. So thank you very much, Joey Clams, man. What'd you think of Joey Clams, Mr. Trevor Salzman?
Oh my gosh, he's just full with information. I mean, it's like, again, I haven't gambled in a while, so definitely, they're definitely really nice to hear, what he has to say. And again, guys, check him out. I mean, and he'll be with you tomorrow and Sunday as well. So, just keep up to date with him and that show. And just thank you, Joey, for coming on. And again, bet responsibly, but again, go win some money. Why not? Go win some money.
Why not? Have a little bit of fun, man. Have a little bit of fun. Get your little bit of fun money that you've been setting off to the side. Maybe have a little bit of fun. Maybe this is the time, man. It's the playoffs. All eyes are on every single game. Go out there, put your money in. Don't worry about it. Play is going to happen like it's going to happen, man. But enjoy the game. Maybe enjoy some winnings at the same time, man. I'm telling you, Trevor, it's a good thing it's only me and you, man. I thought it might be our good friend Albert Knoppers was going to be able to make it in. You never know when we might get a Jody Moncrief coming in here, our fantastic co-host over here on the Denver Bronco Roundup, brought to you by Rocky Mountain Sports Network. Again, guys, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you jump over on YouTube and type in winner. Again, you want to be entered in that contest, so make sure you're doing that. Also, guys, please check out the Rocky Mountain Sports Network on everything. Facebook, X, YouTube, like, share, subscribe. Check out the website, RockyMountainSN.com. Again, you can jump in the Facebook groups and check out Rocky Mountain Sports Network as well. Of course, YouTube and X. Appreciate you guys doing that as well. Trevor, like I said, man, it's a good thing all our co-hosts wasn't here, because between the fantastic Luke Patterson and Mile High Huddle, Mile High Insiders, and then Joey Clams from K&K Sports Show, man, an hour has flown by, man. That being said, I don't want to short you. I don't want to short any of our fans. And thank you guys so much for being in and being part of the show and hanging out. But what do you got to say, man? What do you got to say before we get out of here on this Friday night?
Yeah, again, everybody, just stay warm. Again, stay safe out there. I mean, again, you have this big old cold snap coming through, cold streak it looks like for everybody. So again, just stay warm. I think I've seen in Arizona it was like 35 degrees in some areas. So that's so stay warm, everybody. And again, big thank you to Joy Clams, Luke Patterson for coming on. We're going to continue to have good guests on this offseason, and we're probably going to have to dedicate a show with Luke and Zach, because Zach Sagers, who was on our show Tuesday, because there's so much to talk about, so much to get into, and those guys, I mean, we could go, I think, for hours, but again, we don't want to we want to go about 5 hours, but
oh boy,
we don't want to go too long for you guys, but no, again, thank you guys for everything, and for coming in to support us throughout this off season and this season. Again, our fans, you guys deserve the best. We're going to give you the best. We're going to continue to put out this great content for you guys 3 times a week, so stay tuned. Like, share, subscribe, everything. Keep it right here. We got you covered. All Broncos offseason stuff. And again, just go Broncos, and thank you, everybody. Much love, guys.
Much love indeed. I want to get to a few of these comments. Michael Ronquillo saying the Broncos will be bad for 2 more years if we don't get a quarterback this year or next year. 2026, the Broncos will be good again. I'm right on board with that timeline. I got to be honest, Michael.
I don't know.
Pearl's coming in here. What's that?
I would say things change in the NFL relatively quickly. It's not like baseball or basketball. You can switch things around in a year. I don't know, Michael. That 2026 might be 2025. You never know. Keep your hopes up.
Ooh, boy, I like it. Trevor came in optimistic, I think, on his very first show, Mr. Optimism, man. And I like the optimism now. Pearl's coming in and saying next year for a quarterback, fill the holes now. That's her plan. We did get this one from Kenny a little bit earlier. Bills are paying fans $20 an hour to shovel the snow. So,
I think I need to move to Buffalo.
Right? Yeah. Let's see, with the airfare, how is this going to work out? I don't know if I'm going to come out positive here.
Plane tickets too, or like what else? Right. I mean, it's Buffalo Bills we're talking about here.
Well, you might have a hard time convincing people you're a fan with that hat, though.
Yeah, that's true. Can't take the hat with me, unfortunately.
There you go. Pearl says, I do not gamble on sports, just chocolate bets sometimes. I like that. I like that a lot. Fantastic show, says Michael Ron. Or say, great show, says Michael Ronquillo, coming in, saying Trevor and Keith. Thank you so much, Michael. Appreciate you. Kenny Kirkpatrick coming in saying, great contest and a twist tonight. So much love for you guys, and much love to all of you. Yeah, guys, we want to do a couple of things. We end up stacking guests when we really didn't mean to necessarily, but that's okay. We had a fantastic show. Luke Patterson, always bringing it. Again, check him over out on Mile High Huddle. Check out all his writings. He is fantastic. I really do think he is spot on a lot of different things, guys. So appreciate Luke coming on here. And, of course, Joey Clams, he's spot on with all those wagers, talking about his record. That's amazing, man. Guy to follow, guy to make sure that you're taken care of. Thank you to everybody that was in the chat. I mean, it was loaded up, and I know we didn't get to everybody, but Ernie Mays and Michael Ronquillo were in here early. Kenny, of course, Pearl. I think I might have saw my sister in here at one point, so thanks, sis, for jumping in here. If I didn't say Ernie Mays already, I did it twice now. But thank you, everybody. Graham was in here. Graham jumping in all the way over from Hawaii. If I didn't say Kurt Valente, thank you, Kurt, for jumping in as well. But guys, continue to grow, continue to put out fantastic shows. We're going to be 3 days a week. Right now, it's looking like a Friday, Sunday, Tuesday, 7 p.m. is what we're going to be holding to for the time being, guys. But we'll be putting out those ads. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Make sure you go ahead and follow us on YouTube, Rocky Mountain Sports Network. You want to look that out, and then type in winner, guys. I'm just going to be looking for winner. We're going to be giving our giveaway here probably within the next week to 10 days. Want to give you guys some opportunity to get entered in. Thank you guys all so much. We're going to get out of here. Have a great evening. Stay warm. Stay safe. Make sure you keep your feet in the stirrups. Make sure you keep your guns in your holsters. And of course, make sure you keep the Broncos in your hearts, guys. Until next time, we'll see you later, guys. Thanks. Have a great night.